All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Do you remember the original Planet of the Apes? Do you remember when Charlton Heston was arrested or captive, whatever he was? He was an animal to those apes. Remember that? And he proved that he could fly, or that, not he could fly, but that flight was possible?
Yes.
He made a paper airplane to prove to the apes
Yes, he did.
that flight is possible. When I make a paper airplane, here's the thing with me. I make it the same exact way every time. I think my brother taught me probably when I was 5. And so the same exact folds, everything is exactly the same. And yet, some fly good, some fly not so good. And I never know what I'm doing differently. And it's like, wow. It's like when you get one that flies good, it's like, well, what did I do? How can I recreate this? Well, you can do it right now. Wait till you hear about this. This is the best book we've had in 15 years.
It's wonderful. It's fun.
Ken Blackburn, do you say wrote in this case? He put together this book. Ken is a 4-time Guinness World Record holder for paper airplanes. Now, I bet you his airplanes fly all the time. He works for the United States Air Force. This is a guy who knows flight, all right?
Exactly.
He has been doing aeronautical research right here in Florida, and his book is one that you are definitely going to buy because I know you're a silly person like I am. Pocket Flyers is what it's called. Paper airplane book. 69 mini planes to fold and fly. In other words, you rip this book apart and fly these things. Oh my gosh, the kids are going to be happy with this one. Ken, good morning, sir. What an honor. Thank you for being on our show.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Where are you? Are you in Florida?
I am. So I'm out on the Panhandle. I'm out at Fort Walton Beach. I work at Eglin Air Force Base. So I'm out. I'm kind of out on the extreme end of Florida, but I'm in Florida.
So let me ask you a question about my own paper airplane flying. Making. Is there a subtle little difference that makes a huge difference in how a plane flies?
There is. So there are, once you make a paper airplane, it sounds like like one of the basic classics, like a Dart, or there are a few classic paper airplane designs, and some of them, like you said, some of them fly, and some of them don't fly as well.
Right.
But one of the things, and what you'll see in the first few pages of Pocket Flyers, is that I give some tips on how to make adjustments to your plane to make them fly the way that you want them to fly. All right, and that's really the secret to make any paper airplane fly well, are the adjustments that you make to it after it's folded. So, for instance, if you make a paper airplane and it nosedives, that's a pretty common problem for paper airplanes.
Yes.
You can take the back edge of the wing and bend it up just a little bit. And the more you bend up the back edge, the more it climbs. So you can adjust whether it climbs or dives or whether it turns left or right by using, like, for instance, the rudder. So I try to provide not just some, cool paper airplane designs, and of course the publisher really helped to make them colorful and to make them really eye-catching, but also the directions for how you can make them fly more consistently and make them fly the way you want, which is exactly what you said. This book is based on like all kinds of experience of it I've had from going out and teaching kids and adults how to make paper airplanes. So you're exactly right. People need just little directions to make them fly better.
All right, so Thanksgiving is coming up, and usually when I'm with a group of people on Thanksgiving, somebody is always an expert on everything.
Yes.
So if I make a paper airplane, and hopefully by then I'll be practicing and I'll have a one that flies well. Somebody is inevitably going to tell me, no, let me show you how to throw it. So I want you to tell me, do I put my finger on the back of it or not?
Okay. Right, so one of the three elements to a great paper airplane flight are a good plane, a good throw, and the adjustments I just described. So the throw, I like to hold it in the middle of the plane or a little bit forward, right? The plane tends to weather vane a little bit as you throw it, so you don't want to hold it too far back, right? So I would suggest holding it more toward the front, and a nice smooth throw is more important than a hard throw.
A nice smooth throw. Okay. Do you ever, let's see, can you make an airplane, for example, that you could drop from a building that would just simply fly? You don't have to throw it at all?
Correct. So one of the things you'll find from the planes in my book and the adjustments that I described is that a good paper airplane, no matter how you release it, will eventually fly if you give it enough space. So you could take one of my paper airplanes, say my world record airplane, in the Space Flyers version of Pocket Flyers. You can drop that at any angle, and it will pull out and start gliding.
That's funny.
And you're a 4-time Guinness World Record holder for paper airplanes. That's pretty amazing.
What's it for distance? Is that the record?
So there are a few basic records for paper airplanes in the Guinness book. So there's distance, which is the one I think most people kind of intuitively know, how far you can throw it. Mine is for time in the air, so maximum flight time.
Wow.
So when I was a kid, that record was 15 seconds. Over the years, I upped that all the way up to 27.6 seconds.
Oh, really?
Tragically, a few years ago, a guy in Japan upped it up to 29 seconds.
Oh.
Okay, so is it circling? Is that why it's up there longer but not going farther?
Oh, here's Joe.
That's right. So
Joe has his airplane.
Joe's got his airplane.
Right here.
I know. I'm putting him on the camera, yes. There.
So you'll be able to see, if you just go onto YouTube and Google Ken Blackburn record, you'll be able to see my paper airplane flight, and it does kind of circle down. I intentionally had it circled because Guinness stops the time whenever it touches anything but air. So if it were to land in the seats that were higher up on the side, they'd stop the time.
Oh, really?
So I needed it to circle to keep over the level playing field. In my case, it was at the Georgia Dome.
So what is the best material to make it out of? Is construction paper too thick? Is loose leaf paper too thin?
I find that really, for most paper airplanes, regular copier paper works really about as good as anything.
Okay.
Right? So the paper in the book, you'll notice, is like colorful and glossy. We wanted to make sure that we got the color graphics, and so me and Jeff worked with the publisher to get good folding, colorful paper. But for most people, if you're making your own plane, just regular copier paper is probably best. I've used everything from pizza boxes to business cards.
Pizza boxes?
You can make, that's kind of a challenge in and of itself, but you can make planes out of anything, but regular copier paper works about as good as anything.
See, we used a pizza box. That's heavier than poster board, and I would think poster board, because I've tried this. I've tried making one out of poster board, or oak tag, whatever you call it, and it was just it didn't work. I mean, it was just horrible. But you say if I knew how to fold it would have worked.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to fly great, and that's why I think you're right, is that regular copier paper is a good compromise between strength and size, because you're right, if you get that bulky poster board or cardboard, it gets real thick and it's not aerodynamic anymore, right? So if you make a paper airplane out of regular paper, make your creases really thin and sharp, and it flies better because it's thinner and more aerodynamic.
Do you know what's weird about paper airplanes? If I'm sitting at my desk, and not here because this is a fun place to work, but in other jobs, I make a paper airplane and I throw it. Immediately somebody will say, looks like you don't have enough work to do.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's a little bit of, they're a little bit condescending, and then next thing you know, they're all making them. So it's like, you can't win, right?
And you're
That's
pretty,
right.
And you're pretty amazing because you also teach us how to do the flaps to make circles and things.
Exactly, because I don't want you just to make a plane that will fly, barely. I want you to be able to make a plane that flies great. And, I find that most kids will go to my books, rip out the sheet in the back, fold along the dotted lines, and that's fine. If they really want to take it to the next level, they read the directions, and you can tell the kids who have studied it because their planes fly great, and their planes fly great because they made those flap adjustments.
Oh, really? Fun interview, Ken. Thank you so much for being on the air with us. Thank you for sending us the book. How do we get it? I found it on Amazon. How else do we get the book?
Well, they were released today in most bookstores, and you can also find information on my webpage, paperplane.org, and I've got links to the publisher and where to buy them.
Okay, paperplane.org, and it is called Pocket Flyers by Ken Blackburn. Thank you so much, Ken. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
Okay, have a nice flight.
Nice flight. All right, we'll be right back. We
weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident on this Tuesday. Times of clouds and sun with a stray shower. It'll be rather windy, too. The afternoon high 83 to 87. Breezy Tuesday night with partly cloudy skies. There'll be more clouds and a couple of showers along the coast. Low 69 inland, 78 along the coast. For Wednesday, clouds, some sun and breezy with a shower.